Yes. I want to just thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for letting us survive in advance. I thought Texas State played one heck of a game. You know, we were up 16 points, and we felt like we had the game in hand. And then the veteran team and them, and as far as Coach Z, who I have a lot of respect for, they just showed up and challenged us down the stretch. As you saw in that fourth quarter, they beat us, but I think our ladies came, to Pensacola with one thing in mind. We knew this season hasn't gone like we wanted it to go. I know we are better than our record. I just want these seniors to go out, a little bit better. And I thought tonight the team stepped up for those seniors. The team played so that we can see another day, for these ladies. But on my right, I got Kayla Thomas, a junior, and then on my left, I got Taryn Ward, a senior, one of the seniors we fought for tonight.
Okay, Paul Chestnut, Fox Sports, just talk about the mental toughness of the team. They were bad in the past, so.
Yeah.
And we tied it up. Just talk about the mental toughness of the team, especially with the.
Yeah, I have to give it to my players. Like, you talk about mental toughness, the end of our season, losing so many games. Adversity, we've seen it, we've dealt with it, we've been on the bad side of it. But you know what? They show up every day in practice. And so despite the losing that we've had late before the tournament, I knew that better days would come, and I'm glad we were able for that to be today so we could survive in advance. But I mean, down the stretch, the bench was so loud. Even players that hadn't touched the court were super loud, and that's what you want to see during March Madness. These players are dealing with, just like any other team, injuries. We're a little tired and beat down, a little sick, and it was early in the morning. But I thought we locked in a different way that we need to continue to do. This is just game one. And we let up a little bit, but I was glad to see our perseverance and our resilience down the stretch. Diamond Stokes had a huge steal for us. And I'm glad we didn't allow this game to get away from us like we've done in the past. In our losses, we lost games like 6 or 7 points. And so when they started to come back, I just challenged them to not fold, not give up, to remember, what we wanted to accomplish here. And I'm just proud that it's one game, and that's all that matters, one game at a time, one day at a time.
What did you tell your team on that fun?
I should say that's not it. This is not how we want to go out. I said we played a good enough game that, we didn't want those last few seconds to define our season. And so I said, can we get one stop? One stop. We tried to get a 5-second denial where they get a 5-second violation count, but they were able to get the ball in. And then we haven't challenged them in our zones to just get deflections anyway. And so Diamond Stokes had her hands up. I thought the guards did a great job of denying their players. But Diamond's hands up got a deflection. And so to win it on the defensive end, we're going to need more defense like that to continue to try to survive and advance in this league.
I got a question here for Zoom. This is for Taryn. Finished with 24, having the last bucket there to go ahead. What were you seeing out there, and how did it feel to see that ball go in?
It felt good. I was a little nervous when I shot the ball because I was a little off in the mid range. But when I seen it go in, I felt like I decided to do it for the team.
And then just scoring 24 points out there. At one point you couldn't miss. What were you seeing out there? How did it feel?
It felt good. The last couple of days, last couple of games, I was struggling with my 3 balls. So just seeing the ball going in today, it was real exciting to see.
And then another one here for Zoom, for both the players here. How does it feel to, win this game late like that, moving forward in the tournament? How can you carry that momentum forward?
Just continue to be poised on defense. And continue to rebound. I feel like if we do those 2 things, we'll go far.
Yeah, speaking of rebounding, you go back to your last matchup with Texas State, that ended up being one of the main things. What was kind of your mindset on the boards today?
We need as many possessions as we can get. So I just run to the board. If I can get the rebound, or if I can tip it out to my teammates and they get the rebound, we can set up and we get another chance to score.
Coach, talk about your last two offensive possessions, because when they went to the trap, you had a hard time getting into your offense. But when they tied it up at 68, you have two straight possessions. Kayla had the pass on Jania's bucket. Taryn had the bucket to go ahead and finally make the end. What was the difference between the previous, let's say, 8 minutes and those two possessions?
Yeah, I thought Texas State did a good job of ramping up their pressure. And so we had kind of grown a little comfortable with the pace of play that they were playing at, which they would typically like to play a slower pace. And so I think we got a little comfortable with their defense in the half court. And then when they ramped it up, it did catch us off guard. I thought they did a good job of changing it when they needed to change it. And then I think once they changed it, we would typically like to play that fast. We like organized chaos. And so it kind of created that organized chaos that we like to play with anyway. And we were able to kind of get downhill. I like to say one-on-one coverage. I want them to be basketball players and get a bucket. Taryn did that on the last play. Kayla did that was a huge rebound, a pass save. And then for her to find Jania, as little as Jania is back there, I don't know how she did it, but I mean, that's what you want your players to do during this time, is just, play for each other. And it's not about her 24 points. It's about, diamond steal. It's about Kayla's pass to Jania. Like, every little thing matters. And I think, down the stretch, that's what they made it about. It was not a me versus me. We literally won this as a team.
So coach, how sweet is this? And the way they can finish the regular season, and basically they're not getting to share with us what it's about.
Yeah, I mean, it's super sweet. Anyone who goes through that much of losing down the stretch, especially with a veteran team that we had, there were some disappointments down the stretch, but at the end of the day, the season is 0-0 now. Well, now we're 1-0, so now we're not on a losing streak at all. We're on a winning streak, but just for how we put this team together. For them to be in their senior season, this is something that we worked for. And so although we didn't accomplish our goals in the regular season, there's still an opportunity for us to do that here. And so although, this is a game, if we was at the top and getting a bye, we wouldn't have to play in. But Georgia Southern is a blue collar school. We roll our sleeves up. And so for us to have to try to play 5 games and win 5 games, we got to roll up our sleeves. We made our bed, during the regular season. So this is where the chips fell. And so I think that if we can continue to figure out how to play together and for each other and wake up, this will be a great time for us to wake up. But I mean, it's a sigh of relief. But if you don't have a quick time to kind of actually enjoy it, because then you have an aggressive ULM who we also play to the wire at our place. And so I know they're going to be gunning and ready as well. And so they have some really good athletes. They have some really good guard play. And so we're going to have to figure out how to stop their guard play and their tempo as well.